And it's IGL Weekly time again, powered by the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Give them a call at 1-800-TV-RADIO or log on to GoCSB.com. We're tomorrow's broadcasters today alongside Johnny Vornavakis. I'm Sean Brown, and after a 2-week hiatus, the IGL is back in business, Johnny.
They took football away from us, Sean, but after 2 weeks, we are back and got some good indoor football this week.
It's good to get it back, but for an explanation on the hiatus, let's go to IGL Commissioner Adam Turkel. Is he standing by with Jared Steckler?
I'm Jared Steckler, and I'm here with Commissioner Adam Turk. Obviously, there was a bit of confusion following the bye week regarding the venues that the games were going to take place. Can you talk about that a little bit?
I can give you a little bit on it. All I can tell you is that due to logistical issues, we were not able to play in the Class of 23 arena. There are legal implications to it, which will be left for another time, but we're happy to be here back into football in the Pinelands, and we're looking forward to completing the season now at this point and getting the regular season done, getting to the playoffs, and have some good football. I think the state of the league is okay. I think that we're in a good place football-wise. We're accomplishing a lot of things we want to accomplish as far as getting players looked at, getting quality video courtesy of CSB. And I don't see nothing but brightness for the future. I mean, right now, you're going to go through your bumps and grinds. While this is year 4 of the IGL, in my eyes, it's really year 1 because this is the first year under the Turk regime. So it's going to take a little time to get things the way we exactly want it to move. I have no doubt that moving forward, we're going to be in good shape.
All right, thank you very much. Needless to say, it's been a very exciting season. For CSB's IGL Weekly, I'm Jared Steckler.
All right, now that we're back, let's jump right into the actions. Mustang Nightmare, first game of the day, a battle of the Titans. And this was the closest scoring game we had thus far this year. Was it the best game we saw this year?
I think you could argue that. CSB's matchup of the week, and didn't disappoint, that's for sure. Certainly from a score perspective, it was a very competitive game, and the fans at the Pineland Sports Complex were treated to a good one.
That's right. We opened the Pinelands back up with a very spirited game on both sides, a lot of jawing back and forth, a lot of action, a lot of hard hitting, the way we like our football.
To the Pineland Sports Complex we go, and Dejon Thomas gets the party started with a 30-yard touchdown.
That's right. He goes over the top on him. We've seen him do it time and time again.
6-0 New Jersey, and then Dejon brings the club to a football game so he can dance.
Got better dance moves than I'll ever have, so let him do it.
Then the Mustangs turn it over, and that's why you don't throw into traffic.
That's absolutely right. Bad decision there.
All right, second quarter action we go. Tyreek pump fakes, he tucks it, and they're not going to get him. 7-6 Mustangs.
Yeah, that's right. This one was close from the start here, and man, we were in for a fun game.
Most elusive quarterback in the IGL?
Well, there's a guy from Conshohocken that has a little bit to say about that, but we'll get to that.
All right, so Stephen Cannon in for Henshaw. Why?
That was their part of their game plan. I talked to Josh Henshaw after the game. That was the game plan coming in, and he was okay with it.
All right, so Cannon showing off his cannon here, but Bobby Jenkins wins this jump ball for the pick.
That's right. We've talked about how great Dejon is on these jump balls, but, you know, we got some ups on this team. Bobby Jenkins goes up. He had a good game against Dejon, I thought, but Dejon can eat.
More Mustangs. This time, Tyreek showing off his arm as he watches Malik Jackson get a paw on it, but somehow Jermaine Smith comes away with it. Incredible touchdown reception.
And this was the last play before the end of the first half. We've seen a lot of these games come down to that end of the first half, beginning of second half sequence, and that usually decides a game.
15-6 Mustangs at recess. To second half action. Some trickery here, but New Jersey, it blows up in their face.
Absolutely. Ruben Cook gets his hands on this onside kick, breaks a tackle right to start, and then he's on his way to the end zone, 21-6.
Takes it to the promised land indeed, 21-6. Then enter back in Henshaw. Why did he go out in the first place?
Listen, I don't coach a team. I don't make these decisions. I think Henshaw is a great quarterback, and he showed you he's got little arm talent.
Well, maybe he should have been in there all along, because here, 20-yard touchdown to guess who? Number 14 for his second of the game.
And this was a highlight. He goes up into traffic over a guy, catches it, keeps his balance. And he's got a little more for you after the score, as always.
He always does. 7-point football game. Inside handoff here. But the back has nowhere to go but down.
And that's a safety. This game is close.
All right, so it's a 5-point football game with New Jersey closing the gap. To the fourth quarter we go. Back comes Tyreek Smith looking long. And how does Malik Jackson get that wide open?
He comes around the backside of this play. Defender can't run with him. Wide open.
40 yards later, 29-16 Mustangs. And now we go on the seesaw as Henshaw running right, but he sees that number 14 guy again for the score.
I'd throw it to him.
Dejon Thomas with his third touchdown of the game. And Mr. Thomas does his little dance. It's now a 5-point football game.
I will have to say, those were the 3 catches that Dejon did get, and they were touchdowns. The guy makes big plays, but give some credit to Bobby Jenkins. He hung in there.
Absolutely right. Correct on that. So back comes Tyreek throwing across his body. This time it's DeJuan Moses wide open, and the lead expands to 35-24 Delco.
And this would prove to be just a little bit too much for the Nightmare to handle.
Yeah, the Nightmare do tack on a late score. Too little, too late. Final score 35-30. Mustangs win this one going away. They are now 3-1 on the season. New Jersey drops to 2-2 on the season. And Johnny, we have 2 football teams going in opposite directions at this point.
We do. These are 2 of the teams, we highlighted largely this season. This was a game we were looking forward to, but at 2-2, a lot of questions there on the Nightmare on a team that's very talented.
No question. So what is wrong with New Jersey? Obviously here we got a little bit of a situation in the last 2 games where a lot of their star power, a couple weeks ago, you had Dejon playing for the Pro Stars. Right. That hurt them. This week, your favorite guy, your man crush, Stephen Fortune is absent. Obviously not able to overcome this.
Missing a big piece on the defensive side, a guy who makes plays and not only on the defense but on special teams with his returns. He's consistently setting up his offense in good field position. That's a big loss.
So New Jersey has to find out what is the answer to get back on track.
Practice. Practice makes perfect.
All right, what do you say we hear from Jermaine Smith from the winning side as he's standing by with CSB's Rebecca Bookbinder?
Hi, I'm Rebecca Bookbinder for IGL Weekly, and I'm here with number 2 of the Mustangs, Jermaine Smith. Jermaine, what are your thoughts on your team's performance today?
With us being off for 2 weeks, I think the Mustangs did a great job today. We came out a little sluggish, but we picked it up in the second quarter, and we kept that momentum and we kept going forward.
Did you do anything during these 2 weeks off to try to stay sharp for the game?
To be honest, really, nah. I spent a lot of time with my family. I took this 2 weeks off to spend time with my family. I really didn't do nothing football-wise.
What are the team's intentions to keep the momentum going for next week?
Get back to work.
Thank you so much. For IGL Weekly, I'm Rebecca Bookbinder.
All right, we'll head down to the rabbit hole where Matt Rabbit is standing by with your stats for Game 1.
Thank you guys, and thank you everybody joining me here for the Week 4 edition of Down the Rabbit Hole. I'm Matt Rabbit. You know what that means. It's time for the key stats. The first game from Week 4, the Mustangs versus the Nightmares. The Mustangs quarterback, number 1, Tyreek Smith, went 9 for 14 on passing attempts with 155 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. He also had 7 rushes for 82 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Wide receiver number 11, Malik Jackson, had two catches for 55 yards and 1 receiving touchdown. And number 2, Jermaine Smith, led the team with 5 catches for 65 yards and 1 receiving touchdown. Number 21, DeJuan Moses, brought down 1 touchdown catch for 20 yards. For the defense, number 10, Reuben Cook, led the team with 4 tackles. And number 7, Bobby Jenkins, had 2 tackles and 1 key interception. Number 13, Calvin Johnson, also had an interception, stopping a 2-point conversion. For the Nightmares offense, quarterback number 4, Josh Henshaw, went 10 for 16 on passing attempts with 115 yards and 3 passing touchdowns. All 3 of those passing touchdowns went to wide receiver number 14, Dejon Thomas, giving him a total of 80 yards. Number 60, wide receiver Dwayne Allen, had led the team with 5 receptions and 30 yards, and he also had 2 tackles on the defense. Speaking of the defense, some key players. Number 1, Travis Davis, had 1 tackle and a key interception. And number 56, Joe Hartzell, also had 1 tackle and was able to get to the quarterback for the only sack of the game. That's it for the first matchup. Now back to you guys at the main desk.
All right, time for a fast timeout. But as IGL Weekly continues, there's a twist to the Furies roster as they take on the surging Vikings. That's next.
So you've been thinking about changing careers? Well, now is the perfect time to check out Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Discover the exciting world of audio and video production. They have a campus right here in Cherry Hill.
Call 1-800-TV-RADIO or visit gocsb.com.
Sean and Johnny back with you on CSB's IGL Weekly. And before the break, we talked about the Fury having the big boss come down from upstairs to the playing field.
That's right. Owner/coach David Willis decided he would take matters into his own hands. His team needed something to rally around, so he put the pads on.
Performance-wise, how did he play?
Well, I mean, let's not sit here and pretend he's the best player on the field, but he played with a lot of this, a lot of heart. He played tough. He gave the guys something to feel good about going forward.
And also led by example out there.
That's right.
And, at one point he even mentioned to me that, hey, I'm 37 years old. I shouldn't even be out here. I'm a smoker. And he was trying to basically suck wind. He was having a hard time. At one point he had to come out of the game because he was trying to get some oxygen. But he definitely demonstrated toughness, had a couple solid runs in the game, and who knows, maybe inspired his players.
Again, a football team is such an emotional thing where you need something that you can point to that, you know what, if he can come out here and play with us, why can't we turn this season around?
And let's see if it got the troops going.
Let's.
Botched snap here as Omar can't handle that hot potato.
Exactly what you want. If you're a Fury team looking for your first win, a turnover early in the game, you get possession.
Perhaps they could build on that. Scoreless first quarter. Let's go to the second quarter. Here's Kingwood as he rifles one in. That's Bob Applegate putting his team up early.
Applegate gets over the top on this one. Look at the cannon he's got. Omar's got on this throw. He's one of the rising quarterbacks in the IGL. I'm really excited to watch this guy going down the line.
I tend to agree. It was definitely a rifle shot. 6-0 Vikings. Then we get the running game going here. Handoff. Tito Ruiz shows some Jets running towards the pylon, and he's in. 12-0 Vikings.
Gets around the corner, gets 6.
All right, so we look at, for the first time, Dave Willis here throwing the football, and he's victimized on this one for the interception.
It's tipped up a little bit. He turns around, finds the ball, able to locate it, intercept him going the other way.
Probably shouldn't have thrown that one.
I would take it back if I were him.
All right, we flash forward to the third here. Kingwood lets one go deep, and Mike Woods burns a defender. 18-0, it's all purple.
Man, look, the deep ball Omar Kingwood unleashes is a scary thing, man. If you got the speed to go get it, that's a touchdown every time.
I'm with you. All right, so Jerry Kraft in here while Willis takes a blow. It's a lefty, and he connects with Kenny Wilson for the touchdown. 18-6 now. Vikings go up.
This had to be the highlight of the game. Goes up in double coverage, gets the ball, fights down, touchdown, and the Fury have a little bit of life here.
Shouldn't say the Vikings go up 18-16. It's now an 18-6 ball game. And then we have an onside kick try, and perhaps somebody forgot to tell the Vikings that was supposed to be their hands team out there.
Listen, Joey Ramirez, he had his head in the game, but maybe a little too literally.
Where did that ball hit him?
Mask there. That recovered by the Fury for an extra possession.
And so suddenly the Fury have life, yes?
Well, they did, but
then there were a couple of unfortunate botched plays, and that pretty much was the end for the Fury on this day. They self-destruct, and quarterback Dave Willis called that a game killer.
It absolutely was. 2 high snaps in a row. The second one going at the back of the end zone. That's going to be a safety. Sets up your final score 20-6. Vikings take it down.
Vikings go to 2-2 on the young season. The Fury still 0 for the season. Unfortunate loss. They did play a little bit better in this football game, did the Fury. Perhaps they showed a little bit of toughness, and did they also show some heart in this one?
They did. They absolutely did. It's something that you can look to, point to, and have a little bit of confidence going down the road.
Yeah, they definitely fought hard. Dave Willis, on one play, he demonstrated a couple tough runs in this game. And, after one hit, he took a lick.
He
And
took
it
a couple
really
shots.
hurt him. You could tell, but he got up and said, "Come on, they've got nothing."
He was jawing to the other team a little bit sometimes, man. He was getting into it. He was getting the team fired up.
And perhaps this inspired the Fury a little bit, and maybe we'll see that as the season rolls along.
It's absolutely something they can carry with them.
All right, now Vikings on the other side continue to improve, and for me, it's all about Omar Kingwood. This guy has a big arm, and after the two big quarterbacks in the IGL, he's in the conversation for the next best quarterback, perhaps.
Absolutely. In terms of passers, he's definitely one of the better ones that we're seeing here.
No question. CSB's Jared Steckler was able to catch up with Dave Willis about his transition to the field, playing the quarterback position. Let's check out that interview.
I'm Jared Steckler, and I'm here with Dave Willis, who's not only the coach of the Fury, but today also the quarterback as well. What was it like to get back out on the field?
That was rough. Oh, man. I mean, I played last year, but I thought I'd be in a little bit better shape, but apparently not. That was rough. It was a lot of fun, though. A lot of fun.
As far as coaching goes, did it any perspective being there out in there on the field, right in the middle of all the action?
Well, playing quarterback, I was able to actually see the defense, so I could, I had a better idea of what to call and everything like that. So I could see what was going on better than standing on the sideline trying to call plays. So it was a little easier, actually.
What do you guys think? What do you think you did well today? What things are you hoping to improve on?
What we did well, we fought hard we only had 10 guys out there, and everybody played both sides of the ball, and we stayed in it. So if we can just build with these 10 guys and keep going, who knows what's going to happen.
I know you guys started to move the ball at the end. So what do you think the key to that was?
We had a little bit of emotion for the first time in probably the season. Once I not to pat myself on the back, but once I started breaking off a couple runs, they kind of rallied around me, and we started moving the ball. So.
Sure. Well, hopefully that's something you guys can keep going. Thanks a lot. For CSB's IGL Weekly, I'm Jared Steckler.
And from the winning team, we have Joey Ramirez, who's going to go on to talk about the ongoing momentum his team is bringing and how they formed as a new team and came together to be one of the best teams in the IGL.
I'm Jared Steckler, and I'm here with the Vikings' Joey Ramirez. You guys were able to hold the Fury to 1 first down in the first half. How were you able to be so effective as a defense?
It's all on our defensive coach. He has a lot of good schemes, and we like to rotate, kind of like hockey style, so no one gets tired. We just keep going.
Was there anything you did to stay sharp with these 2 weeks off?
Just practice, mental reps, watching film, watching video, talking to coach, it's a big help.
You guys have obviously turned things around since the slow start. Now you guys are on a roll, tied for the division lead. What do you think was able to help you guys get to this point?
It was learning the game. Like the first couple games, we're all new to the arena thing. We're an 11-man team trying out this 8-man arena team. So once we start getting the rules and learning how everything works, it's an easy process to keep going.
Your coach have a message for you guys after the game?
Just keep rolling, keep going, keep fighting. We got something to prove. Everyone's like, we're never going to do anything because we're this new team coming in. So keep fighting.
All right. Well, congratulations for CSB's IGL Weekly. I'm Jared Steckler.
All right, right now let's hop on down to the rabbit hole where Matt has key stats from Game 2.
Welcome back down the rabbit hole. Game 2 was the Vikings versus the Fury. The Vikings quarterback, number 16, Omar Kingwood, went 4 for 16 on passing attempts with 75 passing yards and 2 passing touchdowns. Number 18, wide receiver Michael Woods, had 1 catch for 35 yards and 1 touchdown. He also had 4 tackles, 2 tipped passes, and 1 sack on the defense. Number 23, Tito Ruiz, had 3 rushes for 20 yards and 1 rushing TD. And number 88, Joey Ramirez, or as his teammates call him, Spider, had 2 tackles with 3 tipped passes and 1 key sack. For the Fury, number 12, quarterback Jerry Kraft, went 1 for 4 with 20 yards passing and 1 passing touchdown. He also had 1 catch for 5 yards. Number 3, Kenny Wilson had 2 catches for 25 yards and 1 receiving touchdown and 2 tackles for the defense. And number 4, Marquise Thomas, had 1 catch for 10 yards, 1 rush for 5 yards, and was able to recover a fumble for the defense. That's the key stats from Game 2. Now back to Sean B. and Johnny V. at the main desk.
Coming up, with the Revs look to take on the undefeated Steelers and everything else you need to know right here on IGL Weekly.
So you've been thinking about changing careers? Well, now is the perfect time to check out Connecticut School of Broadcasting. Almost everything you hear on the radio, everything you see on television and on the internet was made by a creative team of audio and video professionals. Connecticut School of Broadcasting can help you switch from your current career path to the more exciting world of audio and video production. Come in and see what a career in broadcasting is like and see if it's right for you.
Connecticut School of Broadcasting has a campus right here in Cherry Hill. Call 1-800-TV-RADIO or visit gocsb.com.
And welcome back to IGL Weekly. And in our final game of the week, we have the 1-2 Revolution going up against the undefeated 3-0 Conshohocken Steelers. The big question, can Coach Henry's squad stay unbeaten, Johnny?
Well, I mean, we've been watching the Steelers all season. They're rolling through their schedule. They're the toughest team in the IGL.
Number 1 in the power rankings.
Absolutely, but the Revs are going to give it their all, because they're not laying down for anybody.
Well, let's find out. To the Pineland Sports Complex we go. So McCall, second play from scrimmage. He goes over the top deep to Larry Sneed for the score, and the Revolution start with a bang.
That's right, and if you're going to start to upset the best team in the IGL, this is the kind of start you want to get off to.
7-0 Revolution. Do we have an upset brewing, Johnny?
Hey, they got the lead, don't they?
Well, back comes Conshohocken. Jerry Davis to who?
Todd Wilson. Can't stop this guy.
7-6 now. Revolution still lead. And then we have an illegal punt. What is an illegal punt in the Indoor Gridiron League, Johnny?
That's right. It's not the traditional punt that, you drop it and you kick it. You have to let it bounce on the ground first. It's called a drop kick. They did not do that this time. Illegal punt, turnover.
All right, so second quarter action. Jerry Davis is so difficult to contain. You can barely see him, but then when you do, he's gone.
Yeah, that's right. We had 2 weeks off, but it didn't look like this guy missed a beat. He was making people miss. He was running around like we always see.
He did not, and he puts his team in front. Steelers 12-7. Then McCall holds the ball just a little bit too long, and that is what you call a pancake, and the ball is out.
He absolutely takes a shot on this one. It looks like the Revs have a chance to recover, but they don't. Steelers force a lot of turnovers on that defense.
More Steelers here, and look, it's the Todd and Jerry show, 18-7, Conshohocken.
That's right, Wilson working the back of the end zone there. Pretty footwork to get the touchdown.
Things would get worse for Sterling McCall. Watch Tim Young here as he's stalking the motion man. Great instincts. That is a pick for number 19.
That's right. He follows the motion man across the formation, gets a little jam on him, settles down into his zone to make the interception.
And then Jerry goes back to work. Watch this neat little touch dump pass here to Frank Anderson. All Steelers, 24-7.
This guy can make it happen in so many different ways, and this was just a fun little flip over the top of the defense for the quick touchdown.
A lot of tricks in his bag. No question about that. Scary moment here, though, for the Steelers as Jerry Davis takes a pop right before the half.
This guy plays so fast that when you do get a clean shot on him, it's going to be a big hit.
Yeah, we heard some of the players on the Conshohocken side saying, hey, ref, check his eyes. Luckily, he got up and he was okay and remained in the game.
He was down for a little bit, but able to walk it off and keep it going.
So to the third quarter we go. McCall wishing that he had that one back. Frank Anderson this time contributes on D.
We've seen the Steelers just force turnover after turnover on every team, and they pile it up on you.
Finally, though, something positive happens for the Philadelphia Revolution. McCall here as he goes on the deep attack to Larry Sneed. That is a touchdown, 24-15. We've got a football game.
When the team was able to get the deep pass going, it was there to be had a couple of big plays, something to work on going forward.
But then after that, there's more. Todd.
He was surely Todd in this one with 3 touchdowns. Getting it done on the offensive side. We've seen him do it on special teams and on defense.
30-15 Conshohocken, and then Jerry Davis puts a cap on it with the pick in the end zone. 30-15, the Steelers win. They are still perfect 4-0. On the other hand, the Revolution fall to 1-3.
Revolution have a little bit of work to do, but we saw good signs. We saw the offense have a little bit of momentum here against a Steelers D that we've mentioned 1,000 times. It's a tough defense.
Let's credit their defense. They played a very tough game here. Nobody has stopped Jerry Davis all season long, but there were moments, there was glimpses in this game where they were able to contain him, and that is not an easy thing to do.
They were able to corral him. They had the big hit on him. That's something a lot of teams are going to want to look at and try to kind of emulate going forward.
One thing I want to talk about Conshohocken, and one reason they've been so good all season long and undefeated, obviously they're a very disciplined football team. Coach Henry does a terrific job with this team. They're very well coached. It's very clear. But we know the indoor game is an Ironman game. But you've got players like Tim Young and Jerry Davis, Frank Anderson, who are not only playing on both sides, but Johnny, they were making contributions on both sides.
Yeah, absolutely, versatile players, and I had mentioned Todd Wilson's contributions on the special team side too. And this team hits you. This team wants to let you know you're playing the Conshohocken Steelers.
You got that right. Now, Jerry Davis, on the other hand, we talked about him making plays with his legs, making plays with his arm. He's a very nifty quarterback. But in this game, he took a shot. The question is, can he stay healthy? Because Conshohocken is only going to go as far as Jerry Davis takes him, and he's got to be healthy to do that.
I mean, it's clear. He's one of the best athletes in the league. We saw him get an interception in this game on the defensive side. This is a very important player going forward. You got to keep him clean.
Absolutely, and I'm not saying he's not tough, but he's a smaller guy, and he cannot continue to take hits like that.
Absolutely not. You got to protect him.
Hey, this is Juan Perez Jr. with CSB's IGL Weekly, and I'm talking with Mr. 75 Cordell Morgan, Mr. 62 Dennis Tank, number 9 Tom D, and number 52 T.O., who are all the entire offensive line of the Steelers, who just won an incredible game. How does it feel, guys?
Oh, it feels great.
Feels great.
Definitely.
And defense.
Great win.
Absolutely.
And defense all the way around.
Yeah.
All the way around.
Yeah, your quarterback, Mr. Jerry Davis, requested his offensive line to be on screen today to let them know how well of a job he did. And my congratulations to you guys completely being undefeated. The only team undefeated so far.
Well, it's hard work. We try to stay together. We take pride in our quarterback not being touched as less as possible. We encourage our quarterback to keep doing this thing. And we just we do all the hard work. We don't need no praises, but he asked us to be here, so we're going to do it here, and we're here.
At his request, he wants us here, we here. He wants to block, we block.
There you go.
Anything for the quarterback. Absolutely.
There you go.
Baby.
Hey, there it is. Juan Perez Jr. for CSB IGL Weekly.
And for the last time today, let's send it down to Stats Rabbit.
Welcome back to the Rabbit Hole for the final game from Week 4. It was the Steelers versus the Revolution. Steelers quarterback number 24, Jerry Davis, and my stat stud from Week 4 went 4 for 19 on passing attempts with 60 yards and 4 passing touchdowns. He also had 3 rushes for 22 yards and 1 rushing TD. Number 2, wide receiver Todd Wilson, had 3 catches for 55 yards and 3 receiving touchdowns. He also had 2 tackles for the defense. Number 21, Frank Anderson, had 3 tackles, 1 interception, and 1 fumble recovery. He also had 2 catches for 15 yards and 1 touchdown. Number 19, Tim Young, had 3 tackles and 1 key interception. Number 62, Tank Gosley, had 2 tackles and 1 forced fumble. Now for the Revolution, quarterback number 13, Sterling McCall, went 6 for 15 in passing attempts, 112 yards, and 2 passing touchdowns. Number 1, wide receiver Larry Sneed, had 4 catches for 92 yards and 2 catching touchdowns. Number 88, Aaron Gay, had 2 catches for 20 yards. And number 3, Don Shea Speed, led the team with 4 tackles. Number 6, Earl Stewart, had 3 tackles and the only sack in the game. That's all the time for me this week. I'm your IGL stat man. Now back to the main desk with Sean B. and Johnny V.
All right, thanks, Matt. Outstanding job. Also to Brett Canfield for helping compile those stats. Nice work, man. All right, it's time for our Players of the Week. My Player of the Week from the Mustangs, quarterback Tyreek Smith. Outstanding day. 9 of 14 passing, 155 yards. 3 touchdowns throwing, 7 rushes for 82 yards, and 1 score on the ground. He is definitely the most valuable player of the Mustangs.
And on defense from the Steelers, Frank Anderson, 3 tackles, 1 interception, a fumble recovery. Heck, he even added on a touchdown on offense. Guy was all over the field. Great game, Frank.
And he had a cramp, by the way, too, but he played right through it.
All right.
All right, Johnny, so that's a wrap for Week 4 at the Pineland Sports Complex. As we are your official source for everything IGL, we will have all the upcoming action right here on CSB's IGL Weekly.
I'll be right here with you, man.
As I will, too. All right, we're out of time for now. We'll see you next time on the Connecticut School of Broadcasting presents IGL Weekly. So long, everybody.